Hi, Michael Kwan here with Megatech News. I'm hanging out with Ken Price from Samsung, and we're checking out the new Galaxy Note. It's supposed to be a device that fits somewhere between a phone and a tablet. So Ken, can you tell us a little bit more about the Galaxy Note?
Sure, absolutely. You know, we're very excited to bring this device to the Canadian marketplace. We'd launched an international version a little bit earlier this year. That's been very well received, and we think that Canadians are going to be equally excited when we bring this to market. And to your point, you know, in terms of reference size, we're searching for that elusive, you know, single device, that one thing that you would carry with you if you were traveling. Because our observation is that people still carry on average about 2.7 devices, you know, between gaming devices and cameras and e-book readers and tablets, which are growing as a use case, and phones. So clearly, we have not integrated everything successfully yet, and found that one single thing that you can't do, you know, that you can't do without.
So with the 5.3-inch screen, it's definitely bigger than, say, the Captivate at 4 inches.
That's right.
The Galaxy Nexus at 4.65.
That's right.
But you said it's still very pocketable and portable.
No, absolutely, and I think because we have, you know, our Super AMOLED screen technology, you know, we're able to make things still very thin and light because we do things like engineer, you know, the shell of these things to be thin and light, you know, with our kind of microflex technology on the back, so that takes a lot of weight out of the unit. So when you actually look at what's driving the size, we think portability is weight and ergonomics, right? So we're able to design something that still has that pocket portability.
There was another device that was released from a different company some time ago that also had a 5-inch screen, and they positioned it almost as like a phone tablet kind of thing too. And it has since been discontinued. So what is Samsung doing differently now, or how has the market changed now that makes this more of a better device
palatable.
now?
Sure. Well, I think, you know, one thing is that we are, you know, first of all, the design, like I would have to say, you know, I realize that I'm going to be speaking of Samsung here, but the design of this device, I think, is superior to what you saw before. So I'm hoping that, you know, past entries, you know, don't scare people off. I think it's also good that all of us as an industry are innovating, so I don't want to put down what anybody has done in particular, but just rather stress what we're doing. And would say that, you know, I think we have a superior screen technology, which is one big reason that we can make something that's more palatable at this size. And I think the second thing is that when it came out, it was a pretty big leap from where the industry was clustered at 4 inches and below. Then suddenly you had this kind of showing up as a bigger case. The tablets hadn't really established themselves. So it may have been an idea that was a little bit ahead of its time, and then I would say, you know, the execution on it was something that I think Samsung can do a better job of. So it seems like the time is right to emphasize data in device design for mobile, and that's really what this does. You know, the more real estate, the better in terms of a smartphone experience. The more portable, the better in terms of something that it's convenient to carry. So when you kind of marry all those things together, you know, I think the time is right to you know, ask customers through their buying behavior whether or not, you know, they would like something bigger. And in other countries where we've introduced this device, we've done very well. You know, it's sold over 1 million devices even before we've gotten to the, you know, Canadian and U.S. marketplace. So that's a very successful volume for us.
So, on point with the customers, who would you say would be the target demographic, or the typical customer that would choose this over something like the Galaxy Nexus or the S2?
No, that's a great question. So I think that there are probably 3 or 4. I mean, one, certainly because it's high performance, so it has a dual-core 1.5 gigahertz processor. This is an HD screen. This will have, you know, a generous 16, you know, gigabytes of storage, which is upgradable. It's a 2500 milliamp battery. It has NFC built in. Has an 8 megapixel camera on the back and 2 on the front. So this is you know, tricked out, as they would say, in terms of as a phone. So the natural tech enthusiast is definitely going to make that comparison, and then decide, you know, in terms of portability versus real estate. You know, what do I like ergonomically better? And I think that will be a factor. I think this will entice even more business professionals. I would say particularly office productivity, manager types, white collar workers, executives who will like the fact that it's a high-end device. And it also comes with something which we haven't talked about yet, which I'll now pull out and introduce. It comes with what we call an S Pen. And an S Pen is an improvement on the stylus or on the pens that we've seen in the past, in that it has a little bit more intelligence and precision built in, and some simple drawing and editing tools that we're building into the device that should make it more reasonable as a replacement to some of the pen and paper activity that we're used to. And then the natural integration, I think developers have already seized on this and said, oh man, I can take advantage of that and start to build that into applications for the Android market, and we can really take advantage of that here. So I think there's certainly a business professional use. And I should also mention that Samsung does things in our Galaxy S2 family in particular, and on this device, to build on what Android's been able to accomplish in and of itself for ensuring security, integration with enterprise class tools, either VPN services, mobile device management, exchange policies, that kind of thing, that are an improvement over the standard Android. So we're positioning this for business as one of the uses. And then I think the third case is going to be head of household, as we're calling it, because we think the natural integration between some of the when we observe people and who take lots of notes and who jots things down and sort of sets those reminders and that kind of thing, whoever kind of runs the household. So we think there's a head of household market here that we haven't really targeted in any way with devices before. So we're going to try to talk to those folks as well.
That sounds really great. So as I understand it, you'll be launching with all three of the major carriers here in Canada.
That's right.
A little later this month?
On February the 14th is the official launch date, and then we'll see kind of supply will roll out, and then through authorized dealers and retailers as well as part of that.
Just in time for Valentine's Day.
Just in time for Valentine's Day. So express your passion through notes on the note, and that would be what we hope. And I think the timing is good. It's a sense of occasion and the calendar, so yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so that's the Samsung Galaxy Note. I'm Michael Kwan with Megatech News. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.